Hello everybody, and a very good afternoon. Welcome back to Crafters TV. This Thursday is the fourth day of our January news event, where we are bringing you new items each and every day. Brand new launch every day of this week, so it's very exciting. And so far this week, you guys have absolutely loved all of the new launches that we've brought to you. And actually, alongside the new launches, we're also doing showstopper deals, which we'll talk more about in just a second. And all of the showstopper deals so far this week have already sold out. So if you see something you like on this show, make sure you snap it up. We've got such a jam-packed day still to come, actually, a little bit later on, just to point you in the direction at 6 o'clock of our craft vault, where we're going to be concentrating on all things Spectrum Noir. Hit the website as well, because at the website right now you will be able to see all of those deals that we've got coming up later. Plus, we have got selected deals where we've got buy one get one free on Spectrum Noir pens. So do have a look at that, and we'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. But this hour we have got the official launch of our amazing brand new stamps, Mindfulness quote stamps. They've proved so popular. Lots of you snapped them up before the Wake Up Call show. Lots of you snapped them up during Wake Up Call, and in our showstopper, actually, stock-wise here, already, half the stock has gone, and we've not even officially launched them. £19.15 is the platinum price, $28.56, and the showstopper bundle actually gives you one of our quick dry ink pads, the Pale Fig, and then we're going to give you two more in the Parakeet and the Lagoon, absolutely free. If you just do want to go for the quotes on their own, you can, but that's the best value for money deal. Now, we'll have a look through all of the different quotes you're going to get in just a few moments' time, but let us say hello to the lady who's going to be inspiring you over the course of the next couple of hours. It is the one and only, the lovely Jan Brown. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes, we're all sort of topped up. We've had a bit of lunch and we're good to go. So lots and lots of different techniques to show you again. So yeah, stamping, a lot of you that know me know that I love my stamping. This was a perfect launch for me, Ben. So we did a little bit this morning in Wake Up Call. If you were watching then, or if you weren't, you can always rewatch that one later. So we're going to try and work on from that. So I'm going to start off reasonably straightforward and then throw some different techniques in for you this afternoon. Yes, so... Good.
Just looking around, I can't see. What happened to your...
It's still here.
Oh, it's still there.
It's still here, yes. This is what you voted this morning. So we actually made sort of a wall hanging, sort of a little bit of home decor, using one of the stamps as that focal point. And yes, you guys voted that one project of the show, so we'll see what we come up with this afternoon.
Absolutely. As always, we're live and interactive, so if you want to ask any questions, if there's anything that you want to see in particular, you can always get in touch. We've got Rachel, then Susie later on the socials, so two of the very best on the socials for you this afternoon. You can say hello on Facebook or indeed on YouTube and get those questions asked as well. Already in is Janice saying good morning, and Zoe Carver, good afternoon. Hi to Mary Beth Doyle in from a cold Minnesota. Diane Larigo is in. Coletta Morris is in from Arkansas. Lynn is in saying good night. Arkansas. Lynn is in from Lynn, you're on the Isle of Wight, aren't you? Go live, hashtag Go Live Granny. Melanie D is in from Florida. Jane is in from Las Vegas. Margaret says excellent buys. Treated myself to several Noir pencil sets. And Lynn also saying not a jam-packed day, but a Jan-packed day. See what you did there? And I love when Jan is on, says Janice, saying I feel like I learned so much. We always do, always very thorough, always very inspirational, always lots to teach us. Let's just show you all of the stamps that you're going to get within this set. So remember, the showstopper bundle gives you 3 of our ink pads, 2 of which you will pay for. One of which you'll pay for. You'll get 2 for free within the set, and you get all of these stamps included as well. They're beautiful. They're very uplifting, I think, these. Very positive, very mindful, and they look gorgeous as well. This one's beautiful with some amazing sort of a thought for life there, really, literally. Breathe in, breathe out. And we like the, you said it was like a starburst.
Like a starburst, isn't it? Yeah.
And notice again how the fonts change in each and every one of these. So you've got that breathe and that more sort of cursive font, then in and out in your block capitals. Then you've got this one, which is the most popular individually. Think Happy Thoughts. That was your first demo earlier on today, wasn't it?
It was, and we're going to start with that one again, actually, in this show. So, yeah.
Then you've got Make Today Amazing, second most popular individually. If you want to buy them individually, you can, or make up your own smaller bundles, you can do that. But of course, the majority of people are going for the showstopper. This one here, Dream More, Work Harder. If you want to achieve your dreams, they don't just come by sitting around, do they? Put the work in. Put the effort in. Charlie, yes, Dad. Good things take time. Oh, I like that little floral flourish there on the bottom. It's very cute. And then lastly in this set, this is our favourite here at Crafters TV.
Yeah, I do like that one.
Giggle more, worry less. I mean, that is a great little expression. I think we should all live by that. Giggle more, worry less. But you're going to get all 6 of those, plus your ink pads for £19.15, $28.56. As I said, if you just want to go for the stamps on their own, you can, without the ink pads. And if you want to go individually, you can. Let's get cracking then. Lots of demos to get through. Any questions, ask them. Any comments as well, do get those in. And just a quick hi to Emma, who says, hi, Ben and Jan. My Scent with Love and Floribunda has just arrived. Super speedy. Yes, we officially launched that, the latter you just mentioned there, tomorrow here on Crafters TV, when Sarah's going to be back in. That will be the last of our launches for this week. But let's get started. Oh, a little skip there for you. Let's get started with your first demo of the show. I don't know what that was.
So I've just got a few samples just to start off with to give you a little bit of inspiration there, but just to see these in situ. So, you know, this is just a little 6x4 card, so you can see that they even fit on that card as what I call note card size. We've turned that one landscape, you know, they don't have to be portrait. So that one's got that top tent fold in. And then we've got good things take time. So again, you might want to pop these into your easel cards. We're going to try and fit one of those in later on. And like Ben says, you know, you've got that little extra flourish on that one, comes as part of the stamp. So, you know, you can colour that in however you want to do it. You could re-stamp it and layer it up. The breathe in, breathe out. I love how this one's had the, what we called the starburst here, sort of extended the way the papers have been cut on here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Very
that's
clever.
a really clever idea, that, isn't it? That's our Bianca, bless her, that's done that one. And then dream big, work harder, just in the little pop-up. You can see that design there.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, so different style, but you can see they're really workable, aren't they? They don't have to be...
that folds back to post, though, that one, does it?
That folds flat.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just pops up, and you can see that mechanism there. Very cleverly done. And then we've got Make Today Amazing. I do like that one. Yep, that's with that inks in the background again. And then we're going to start with the Think Happy. Now, I did a similar version to this morning.
Yes.
With the yellow, which I think I've still got here. Yeah, so this one's actually Nicola from our design team. And then this was my sort of take on it with just the one coloured ink.
Very nice.
And then we're going to do similar again with a little bit of an inky background with that one. So that's where we're going to start today. So we'll pop those away. No, Jan, you pop that one on that pile and that one on that pile. Pop those down there. And then what I have got this time is that same stamp, just happened to be the way it worked out. So Think Happy Thoughts. And for those of you just tuning in for this show, if you weren't watching us this morning, the bulk of the stamps, depending on the wording, obviously, because some words spread wider than others, but you're looking at around about 3.5 inches square. This one's slightly taller than it is wide, because obviously the word happy isn't as wide as something like the amazing in the other saying. So, but I'll say, don't look at this and think, oh, I'm not sure about those, because when we take them out of the packaging, when you look at that on my hand, they are a considerable size stamp. So they're big enough to be the focal point if you want it to be on your card or on a piece like we did the, you know, the wall art for the home decor. They could be some kind of, you know, sort of incorporation into a scrapbook page, things like that. You could put them on, we're going to pop them on a gift box later as well. So they are quite usable. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to bring my inks back in again. I've got a piece of that multi-purpose card. Again, you could use watercolour card for this if you wish. And I'm going to bring in a couple of complementary colours there with the lemon tonic and the fuchsia. Now these are actually quick dry inks, but I'm going to use them to make a quick background, okay? And the way I'm going to do that is to actually pop them out onto my mat. Now we said that they stayed wet on a non-porous surface. So these are going to be fine to work with. Once I put them on the card, they're pretty much going to dry instantly. So all I've got is some water in my cup and my brush, and I'm actually going to use this. Let me just get, that's got a little bit of blue ink in there. I've obviously not cleaned that last time I used it. I'll get rid of that. And then what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of water. And I'm not going to use a lot because this is the multi-purpose card, not watercolour card. Now you can use the watercolour card I just prefer the stamping on that nice surface. And then because this stays wet, I can now pick it up and bring it in. So people often ask, can you use the quick dry inks for backgrounds? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
It just depends how you actually want to introduce them. Now, I'm not going to go mad with the pink because it is a very, very vibrant. But the reason I've wet it first is it allows that ink to sort of travel where the water is.
Yeah.
So you can see it wicking on the edges here into that water that I've already placed down. So I put the water roughly where I want the design to. See here, you've got that lovely feathering. Really, really pretty. And it'll just follow where the water is on the card. Now then, I'm going to have the yellow go right across the middle, I think, but I'm also going to mix it because those two are going to give me more of an orange blend.
Yeah.
So you can see there, that's you know, you think, oh, quick dry inks, I can't do that. But you can actually work with them. And if you don't have a glass mat, you could do this on a piece of acetate. You could, if you've got an acrylic stamp block, you could pop it on there. Even a piece of plastic from packaging.
Yeah.
Just something to carry that ink where it's not going to dry instantly.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to push a little bit of that yellow into that pink just to create that orangey tone. And basically create a backdrop for where we're going to put our stamp now. All right, so it doesn't matter how you do this. There's no law that it has to look like a certain thing. I'm aware that I've got an awful lot of ink there. I was a bit giddy when I was putting it out. But here we go, here's the old cloth. Here it is.
But at home, obviously, you mean like you just in there, you could spritz it and pop it onto a bit of cardstock and put it away.
You could carry and make more backgrounds. You could do a background piece to give you a matte and layer piece that coordinated with what you're doing. Yeah, so you know, I would tend not to waste it that much if I was at home. Even just getting, like you said, another piece of cardboard and mopping it up. So we've got that there, and I do need it to be dry to work on. So first thing I'm going to do is just give it a blast with that heat tool. And just for those of you out there that haven't been watching,
oh, not the bad news again.
I've got our Crafter's Companion heat tool because my lovely little quiet companion has passed away.
There was quite a few comments, I didn't read them out this morning, but a lot of people were very genuinely upset that the quiet one's gone.
I know, so was I. I was gutted. It served me a very, very long time, but they don't actually make it anymore, otherwise it would be an excellent recommendation for the product. But
not a bad replacement though.
No, this is actually, I like this. Yeah, I like the fact that it's got the 2 speeds on. So that was on the highest bit, but listen, it's nice and quiet.
Not bad.
That's the low one.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all, is it? So what I've done is I've made sure that's dry because what I actually want to do, which I forgot, I was a bit giddy wiping up the ink. I'm not going to put as much out this time because I do want a little bit more. I forgot that I was going to do this bit here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to swap my bigger brush for my little splatter brush.
Oh, yes.
Yep, and I'm going to pop some water out as well. So I'm going to wet the brush, just soak up a bit of water there. And if you don't have one of these, just a small paintbrush will work. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow ink. And what I want to do is actually do a little bit of splattering on there as well, just so that I've got a little bit of that colour escaping from that main block. And then I'm also going to do the same with the pink, but just be aware the fuchsia is a very strong colour. Yeah. So I only want a little bit of it. I don't want to go mad with it, so I'm sort of diluting it really, and then I'm going to pop over the top of where I've inked, because you'll get that water mark, and then I'm going to go into the white part of the card just to sort of link it and bring it out to the edge of the cards there, edge of the card, you can see there, and then we'll get rid of this again. So just be careful if you're doing this at home that you don't end up splattering everything. We were talking about this last week. It's like you get busy splattering away and then you realise that, oh, my Gemini's covered in it and my ink pads are covered it and everything else. So yeah, try and contain it. And again, once we've got those pieces there, I'm just going to give it a blot over the colour so that it'll lift a few of those specks of colour. And then round the outside, we've just got those little splashes to bring it all together. Yeah. So that's going to be my backdrop. And on this occasion, I have actually cut it to the right size. I usually work on a larger piece, but this stamp is nice and square. So we're going to pop this one onto the stamping platform now. So I've literally got that on here. and get that one secure. Then we're going to bring our stamp in. And these are acrylic stamps, so you can see straight through them. So I can position this down now and sort of eyeball, you know, all the way around to make sure that it's fairly central and it's straight. And then we're going to pick it up with the top, and then I'm going to bring in my black. So this is the Noir Black Quick Dry ink.
Yes.
So perfect for stamping those black silhouette images. So I'm going to go just with the black, ink it up nicely. And I do like to do 2 layers when I'm doing anything like this, because although we'll get an impression on that first layer, I actually want it to soak up that ink and be really sort of proper black. So I'd straight down, give some nice pressure on there. I always keep one hand on there to keep it in contact with the paper.
Yeah.
Transfer that ink, give it a second because it does need to transfer and soak into what we've already done. You can see here, we've just got a little bit. And that's what's so good. It's actually still on my, you can see there where it's still dark.
Oh yeah, it didn't come off.
I've just obviously not caught that bit when I was pressing. So just quick addition, pop it back, and that's what's so brilliant about that stamping platform.
Yeah.
Now I like, as I say, I always like to give it a couple of layers just to build up that density of the ink, and then you get a really nice strong black contrast to what you've got underneath. So make sure you've got a nice coating of ink. The platform allows you to line it up just the same. And I did say earlier that if you're stamping, try and stand up, because if you sat, you sometimes tend to push it forward before it goes down. And also standing, you'll get better pressure, better weight distribution over it to actually press and get a nice image. So again, just make sure we get all those different pieces, and that's going to go directly over what was there. And you can see how it's brought up the intensity of that black ink now against the background. So that's going to be our stamping. And then there are numerous ways that we can use these then in sort of card making, or like I said, scrapbooking. So I'm going to keep this one fairly simple. And again, I've actually made just, I think it's 5 3/4 card blank. Beautiful papers again from that Say It With Flowers range. And I've actually brought the black mat in there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my card layer. You can see where I've actually taken the extra out of the back.
Got that card, that paper on the show.
Yes.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's beautiful, and it's double-sided.
Yeah.
And the reverse of them, honestly, sometimes you don't want a really fussy paper.
Yeah.
And the reverse of them is beautiful.
Well, the reverse is almost like the unfussed version
It
of
is,
the front side.
yeah. So this
Very
time I'm
nice.
actually going to use the flowers on it. So we're going to pop that one on the front. And then again, you know, you've got your inked piece. So that looks nice. We're going to go slightly on the wonk. But like I said earlier, don't be afraid of that black card. That looks nice.
Yeah.
But you've got very little definition between the background and the colours. As is where you pop the black mat in there, it just makes all the difference.
Yeah.
It now pops off, it links it with that black ink, and I just think it's worth adding that extra mat in there just to lift it.
Do you know what? I know that that's a good tip because you've said it and Leanne was drumming that home the other day. So
Yeah.
I know if it's you two that are saying it, that is definitely something to absolutely everyone should start doing if you're not doing it already. But it does work, like you said. It helps the image not to get lost in the background, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Pops
it
off the
doesn't
page.
have to be black. You know, sometimes we choose a colour to matte layer with, but the black in particular, especially when you've stamped something like this in black ink that's quite a focus, you've got that instant connection there between the two, and it sort of just draws that eye in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a few foam pads on the back of this one just to raise it off the page. So we've just got some little squares there. Oh, some of them are double, some of them have been cut. That's okay. And then we're just going to lift that one, as I say, at a slight angle and pop that slightly on the wonk because we can. So that one's going to go in the middle there. And then we're literally just going to pop like so.
Beautiful.
What I normally do is just look at the corners and make sort of almost, you know, the same distance. And then I'm not going to do much to that at all other than add a little piece of ribbon, and we're literally going to pop that on the top there. Nice piece of just sheer organza ribbon so that we can still see through. And again, keeping it nice and simple for that first demo where we've just got that stamp saying all the words, and then we've got the colour behind it. So probably just actually twist that one so that it was sticking up here a little bit so it's not covering it.
Yeah.
But think happy thoughts. I just think it's a great saying.
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think happy thoughts, think those positive thoughts, put them out in the ether. It's the law of attraction, isn't it? If you put the happy thoughts out, get all the happy stuff coming back at you. Love that card. Very, very nice. Hi to Deborah, who's joined us, saying, hi everyone from Lancashire. I love watching Jan's demos. Beautiful card, says Judy on YouTube. Our beautiful cards. Hi to Peg. Thank you, Peg. I appreciate this. You say, hi, Ben and Jan. I appreciate you too.
Oh,
Well,
that's
thank
lovely.
you. That's very kind of you. That shouldn't be on a stamp, Johnny, actually. I appreciate you.
That's lovely.
Yeah, thank you. Karen says, OMG, I decided for the first time to make some inky backgrounds. They are lush.
Yep.
However, I am very inky.
Oh, well, you know
That's
my
half the fun.
motto, if you're not covered in ink at the end of the day, you've not had a good day. That's my motto. But yeah, I'm always covered in ink. I managed to stick my finger in the ink pad this morning. So,
And how do you get it off in case?
Pardon?
How do you get the ink off in case everyone's covered in it?
Well, most of it's water-based, so
Yeah.
just by washing will bring it off.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer is really good for
Okay.
dislodging ink, but I tend to find the best way, and I mean it's not always possible to go and do it straight away, but maybe the next morning when you jump in the shower and you're washing your hair, all of a sudden all the ink's disappeared. So the shampoo tends to work with it as well, yeah.
Good. Charlotte Jones says, I love it when Jan demonstrates. So do we. Lorna Jane Hunter. Hello, Lorna Jane. Not heard from you in a while. You say, hi all. It's been a while since I've tuned in. Oh, there we go. But I'm so glad I have today to catch the super team of Ben and Jan. Yes. Just what I need to lift my spirits.
Oh, bless.
Nothing wrong. Just a bit of the January blues.
Oh.
It's, you know what? Feel a little bit like that as well. January's a bit like that. But it's nearly Feb.
It's a funny month, isn't
It
it?
is, isn't it? It's a long old month. What is it today? It's about the 53rd of January today, isn't
Something
it?
like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. The 53rd, we're all waiting for payday on the 90th. You know, that's how it feels sometimes, isn't it? Sending you big hugs, Lorna Jane. Keep smiling, keep smiling. Zoe Carver says, most things I make end up on the wonk. I wonder if I ever tried to put on the wonk on purpose, it would end up straight. I like that kind of thinking.
I like that.
It's good. On the wonk is fine.
Yep.
As you know, it just adds a little bit of your own sort of
Flair.
quirkiness to it. Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
EB says these are very uplifting and beautiful. Just because cards, everyone needs a reason to smile. Absolutely. Oh, and thank you to our Rachel on the socials. This is not the 93rd of January today, it's the 226th
Oh, gosh.
of January.
Yeah.
So, yep. The mindfulness quotes. Here they are. You're going to get all 6 in your showstopper. Over half the stock has gone within this particular showstopper. They're gorgeous. So breathe in, breathe out. There was a great pop song from a few years ago called Breathe In, Breathe Out, wasn't there? I think if you look it up, it was by a singer called Lucy Silvas. He's looking at it.
Breathe in, breathe out. I don't recall that one.
Breathe in and breathe out. Oh, I don't sing it very well. But
No,
that's
I
how it
don't
went.
recall that one, Ben.
Lucy Silvas, I'm sure it was called. But she was called Breathe In, Breathe Out. No? Maybe I dreamt that.
Moving on.
Hillary who? Hillary. Oh, okay. Okay, it wasn't Kanye West, it was definitely Lucy Silvas. Anyway, think happy thoughts. There's definitely a song. Lucy Silvas, thank you. Thank you. Make today amazing. 2004, was it? That was me just a few years ago, nearly 20 years ago. Don't you hate it when that happens? You go, oh yeah, just he's so old even Google couldn't find it, Johnny said. Do you ever do that though? You think, oh, that film was a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah. And then you work it out, yeah.
Yeah. What were we watching the other day? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh,
it was
my
that's probably
days.
like 15, 16 years
They're
ago.
like 80s, aren't they?
That's 89, that one.
Yeah.
That's like 30 odd years ago.
Oh, my days.
Dear, oh dear.
Scary. Scary.
Dream more, work harder. Good things take time. and giggle more, worry less. So those are all the 6 that you're going to get. You also, don't say that, for goodness sake. You just said young Jamie in the office, young Jamie, not Jamie who was on the, when was he born? 2004? 2002. You're going to get ink pads with these as well, by the way. So you get the pale fig included, this one here, but then we give you 2 more for free. So you've got your lagoon and your parakeet included in there for free as well. So that's the reason why the majority of you are going for the showstopper. Just added elements that we think will, make this collection work for you even better, but you can go for it individually should you wish. Just a quick one before I look at these. Stephanie's just asking what the size of the stamps are roughly. You said that earlier.
Yeah, they have got the sizing on the packet, but in general they're around about 3.5 inches square. So for example, this one's 3.5 by 3.7. The one that I just used was 2.9 by 3.6. Because the wording's slightly narrower, it does affect it. But I would say in general, on average, around about 3.5 inches square. So they're actually much, much bigger than the illustration on the front of the packets there. So when you look at it and you think, oh, it's only a small sentiment, they're not. They're actually palm size.
Cool. Yeah. Great question, Stephanie. Any more? Throw those in our way. Just to say as well, we have also got on this show the Say It With Flowers 12 by 12 paper pad and the linen cards that comes with it. So you have seen Jan using this actually quite a lot today. So if you want to pick it up, it is beautiful. I think if you maybe bought the collection when we launched this back along, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I wish I bought more paper. This is an opportunity for you to get your hands on it, because remember, once it has gone, it has gone. But this is the 12 by 12 paper pad. You're going to get the A4 linen card collection in here too. It is the most sumptuous blend of gorgeous florals. And what I love about this again is the reverse that you're going to see. If I flick it that way, you can see the reverse is just absolutely gorgeous. And with a lot of these, and I know what we tend to do on our paper pads is obviously give you a reverse which matches the other side. But this is almost like that background there is the same. It's the same, isn't it?
It's pretty much the background without the print.
Yeah. So that works even better, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I just love the colour palette as well. It's a beautiful colour palette in there. Yeah.
You've got florals, I think, for all year round, for all occasions. And why would you not want to jump in and grab this? I mean, look at that. That's the one that you used earlier, wasn't it?
Yes, that turquoise that we used on the wall plaque, yeah. But I actually used the plain aspect of it because I didn't want too much fuss. But those flowers are absolutely beautiful, I mean, great for fussy cutting, things like that. If you just wanted to use them as corners on a scrapbook page or something like that one, you could cut it and just have it hanging down from the top of your design. So many different ways to use the paper pads.
They are beautiful, double-sided. Again, you're going to get 36 double-sided sheets within that collection, and on top of that you've also got the corresponding cardstock. This is beautiful. Our linen cardstock, if you love that that textured effect, I think our linen cardstock is absolutely beautiful. Doesn't always show up brilliantly on the screen, but if you've enjoyed any of our linen cardstock previously, you have got that beautiful effect running right through it. And again, some wonderful colours within this collection, all complementing perfectly with the colours that you've got within your paper pad. I think, let me double check that, 24 sheets you're getting in there, alongside the 36 sheets that you're going to get within your paper pad as well. Great price on that today. Everyone's going to save 15%, and another 20% comes off, of course, if you're platinum. So that's £20.38 or $27.15. Absolutely worth stocking up on. And even if you haven't got the Say It With Flowers collection, that's the kind of paper pad I think that's going to come into its own over the course of the next few weeks as you start maybe thinking about spring and summertime makes. We're going to get on with our next demo. Get the questions and comments still coming through. Let's just say again, happy Australia Day to all our Australian viewers, and also happy Florida Day to all of our... What are you called if you live in Florida? Are you a Floridian? Happy Florida Day to all our Floridians as well. Charlotte says, my Gracie always tells people I was born in the olden days. It was 1985.
Oh, bless. That makes me prehistoric then, I think. going back to the 60s.
Back to the 60s?
Yeah, back to the 60s. Good grief. Big one this year, Ben. Big one coming up this year.
Is it?
It is.
I would never have thought that. You're going to be 40.
I wish. Producer Johnny says 40. I love you, Johnny.
When's your birthday?
My birthday's in May.
Yeah.
And it's got a 0 on it this year.
50.
And it's not 50.
Are you are you having a big 70, Johnny? In one fell swoop, you've just ruined it.
40 to 70.
40
like,
to 70.
It's like 30 seconds. Yeah.
Jan, loving him, now hating him.
Yeah, that's it. That's gone now.
Have you got any big plans this year?
Not massive plans as such. I have dropped a couple of hints because the one place I would love to go, which you might think is crazy, I don't know, but we're all big Harry Potter fans.
Oh.
My youngest daughter particularly is a massive fan, and she's been down to the studio tours at least twice, maybe 3 times.
In Watford, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's somewhere I've never been. I've always wanted to go, so I did drop a few hints that maybe we could have a visit there over the summer, but not necessarily at my birthday, but at some point over the summer. So yeah, I'm not, I don't want a cruise or anything like that. Just a trip to the Harry Potter studios and I'll be fine.
I think it's such a big birthday. You should have like a few treats dotted around over the course of your birthday
Do you
month.
think?
That's
May.
Yeah. May
Yeah. 16th my birthday, right in the middle. Yeah. So I've got a couple of weeks before, a couple of weeks after. But,
but absolutely. If you're bang in the middle, you want a bit of a extravaganza leading up to it, and then a bit of an extravaganza.
Now, my best friend's just turned 60, and she had a big party that we attended a couple of weeks ago, and literally loads and loads of people. And I just said to the girls, I says, please do not get any ideas because that's not my thing at all. We went as guests, but I would not want her to have been the centre of attention like that all night. She loved it. She was lapping it up, but everybody's different, aren't they?
That's it.
Bit of Harry Potter and I'll be sorted.
Amazing. Just a few quick more comments and then we'll move on. Heather says, when my niece was little, she was watching an old black and white movie with my dad. He told her he watched the show when he was young. She said, were you born before colour? Do you know what? I remember thinking that when I was little as well, that everyone was in black and white back in the olden days.
Yeah.
And Diane says, yes, we are Floridians. Thank you. Yes, happy Florida Day, everybody. Let's get on then and have a look at another demo with this collection. The showstopper, well over half the stock is now gone. Lots of you continuing to buy, but we're going to have a look at another one of the quotes now. Which one are you using next?
We're going to have a look at good things take time.
Okay.
All right, so it's worth persevering with something. Bearing in mind, these are all mindfulness quotes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's worth persevering. Good things take time. But as I say, when you look at the size compared to the packaging, don't be deceived. So this one's coming in at 3.5 by 3.7, so it's almost that 3.5 inches square. So again, piece of that multi-purpose card there. And this time we're actually going to use our opaque pigment inks together with some clear embossing powder.
Ooh,
so we're going to get that lovely shiny finish, but we're going to have the colour showing through. Now, I would much rather do this than have a sticky ink with lots and lots of different coloured embossing powders. That's why I always have a bigger tub of the clear. When we were using the white earlier, I just had the little pot of it, but my clear came in a big tub that I've just decanted into a container. So yeah, it's a great way of making those colours sort of, expand without adding a purple embossing powder, a pink embossing powder, a blue one, etc. The only colours I buy are usually gold and silver. Okay. Everything else I would stamp in the colour and then use the clear over the top. So what we're going to do then is we're going to stamp this out. Now I've got a couple of different ink pads and I'll explain why I do this. So again, just going to pop this in the centre. All right, and this is the one that's got that lovely little flourish with it as well. And then once you're happy with your positioning, get that onto your stamp plate. Now, if you don't have the magnetic stamp platform, a lot of these you can do with your ordinary stamping platforms or with the rocker blocks or with your clear acrylic blocks. It's just a bit more difficult to overstamp if you're wanting to do a second stamp, which I'm going to do with this one. So I talked about pigment inks being one of my favourites. It's my go-to inks. They are considerably paler in colour. Right. So this is actually Damson Wine, which is the darkest of the 3 purples. And if I compare that to Damson Wine in the quick dry inks, you can see that there is quite a difference there in the shading. Yeah. So they're the same colour family, but because of the makeup and the nature of the opaque pigment, it does come out a little bit more pastel. Now in this particular sense, I actually want a really nice, strong purple print. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the quick dry one first. So I'm literally going to build up the colour, and I do this a lot with my pigment inks because I want that strength of colour, which is what this quick dry is going to give me. So the first layer is going to be quick dry.
Yep.
Make sure I've got the right one, yep. And we're going to actually prop that one down first. And this is why I like using the magnetic stamp platform, because I can do these techniques and overstamp without any anxiety about, am I going to line it up? Is it going to match? Am I going to waste it? Have I got to start again? You don't have to worry about any of that. So that's the first layer. And like I've said now a few times, you can see I've done it again. Look, there's a little bit here. But if you actually look on the, here, it's still on the stamp.
Yeah.
So literally a quick press down, and it was just a bit that I've not pressed, and now it's there. So then I do like to do 2 layers, purely because it builds up. That first layer, often there's a little bit of soaking into your cardstock goes on. The cardstock absorbs the ink. And I just think that extra layer, if you can do it with the platform, it just builds up the intensity. So this one's fine, but just watch the difference when we add that second layer to it. It just builds up the density of the ink, and you get a really nice, strong colour. Okay, now these are quick dry, so stamping on top of here, if I actually tried to put my embossing powder on here now, it would just slide off purely because this is dry. You can see there's no smudging going on at all.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to bring the heat tool back up.
Okay.
I've got my clear embossing powder at the ready, and I'm going to swap my quick dry ink pad out for the opaque pigment in the same colour family. They're both water-based, so it's not going to do any damage, but I'm now going to ink up with this one so that I've got that slightly wetter surface. The opaque pigment ink stay wetter for longer, so what we call that open time is longer. And that will allow now for that clear embossing powder to stick to the ink and not just slide away. So we're getting the same colour families there, and this over the darker inks isn't going to make a lot of difference other than add that sticky layer. Now if you don't have 2 sets of inks, for example the quick dry and the opaque, you could do this technique with your quick dry first, and then you could stamp with your translucent ink over to get the stickiness. So don't think you can only do this if you've got all the ink pads.
I've never heard that before, but that makes so much sense.
You could just add the sticky layer over the top. All we want is a layer that's going to attract the embossing powder. So now I'm actually going to bring this into play, and when we pop this over the top, you can see that ink's dark now. It'll get like a sort of a faded effect.
I love it when you explain, because obviously all of the different ink pads have their sort of super strengths, if you like.
Of course, they're all designed for a purpose.
But you can manipulate them in different ways so that they all do the things that the others might do.
And don't be afraid of doing that.
No.
As long as you're not contaminating the surface of your actual ink pad, which you're not because you're working on here. Clean the stamp off, use the sticky one on, over the top, and it's just to get that embossing powder. And you can see it's gone sort of quite opaque, well not opaque, quite faded now.
Faded,
Yep, so what I've done then is just tap any excess off, so where it's not stuck means that it's not wet enough, and then we'll move those out of the way, get everything out of the way, and then I'm going to bring the heat tool up to temperature. Okay, so that would be the top tip with heat embossing. We're going to melt the embossing powder and set it, but we want that embossing tool to be at temperature. Got some little tiny strands in my embossing powder there. I don't know where that's come from. Now this morning, Ben, you asked me about heating from above and from below the print. So we did it on the top this morning with the white one. We'll actually work underneath this time.
Oh, okay.
Just to show you the difference. And again, it's one of those things that I would suggest trying and see which you prefer. But this will give you, for TV purposes, you'll be able to see this working. So I'm going to start probably here on the T. And literally you don't want to be touching your paper. It actually wants to be a little, about an inch away from it. But once the heat's penetrated the card, you can see now how that powder's melting. And we've got that lovely dark purple shade coming back through. So just chase it around your lettering and any imagery, and once it's gone shiny, move straight onto the next bit. Don't hover over it for too long, and you can see there how it's all starting to show that gorgeous ink, but you get the beautiful shiny finish on it, which I'll try and get to the camera when we've melted it. Once it's changed, then just move on to the next piece of your text. Don't hover over it too long. If you do, you'll find that the embossing powder sort of sinks back into the card, and then you don't get that lovely raised finish on it.
And do you know, so you use your quick dry ink pad and then your sticky ink pad on top to emboss. You know, if you wanted to do multiple layers of heat emboss, so if you did with your pigment ink pad, could you do it the same with this? Doing it this way around, if you wanted to add another layer of emboss on top?
If you wanted to emboss again now, you could either go in with your pigment one.
Yeah.
So where are we? Yep. So if you kept everything, the only trouble is now is I've got to try and get this lined up now. I've taken it out of the stamping platform. So what I would do, if I was wanting to build up the layers, I would actually mark where I'd had it in the stamping platform. Right. So I would make a note of where it was actually set within the grid. Yeah. Maybe just pop, if you want to do that, if you've got some either coloured tape or washi tape, just mark the corner where you've put it so that you can slide it back into place, and then you can overstamp. You can overstamp again in the pigment and add more clear powder, or you could overstamp again in the sticky one and add more powder. So you can build it if you wish. Good. But what we've actually created now is that lovely, can you see when it catches the light, look? You've got that lovely sort of shiny finish to it. Yes. Absolutely gorgeous. It is. Our Charlotte's coming for a little closer look there, look. And I just think it just adds that next level. It just makes it that little bit more special than just a flat one. You know, when I say flat, I just mean an ink on its own. Yeah. So again, you can see exactly where I've gone with this. I've just taken a couple of my tri-blends and added a little bit of lilac and green to that lovely little spray that's at the bottom, and then I've just added, I'm back again with the pearls, just some green there because I'm going to tie that in with the design. Lovely. I was just going to say something else then, and it's gone straight through. It'll come back. It'll come back, no doubt. When I was talking about, you're least expecting it. Yeah, I was going to just where we got to with the embossing and what have you. Do you know, I do this a lot lately. I blame this on my age. It's like 1 minute I've thought of it, and then next minute it's gone. It's what happens when you get to 40. Things start. I wish. What was I going to say? I can't remember. I'm going to start going back again now. Start going down. I'll be 58 this year, yeah. So I'm actually going to use the lilac on this instead of the black round this one, because the theme of the card is going to be the greens and the lilacs. So this is actually from that card pack, Ben, that you've just shown. Yes. So from the Say It With Flowers. And we're going to matte and layer that one on here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of my wet glue again. Just make sure I've lifted that. You get a little tiny skin over the top of it that you just need to make sure is clear. Otherwise you end up spending hours thinking, why is it not coming out of the container? And we joke about these things, but it's because we've done it. I'm like, what's up with my glue? Why is it not working? Then you realise that the actual dispenser's covered in dry glue that was on it before. So here we go. That one's going to go on top of here. And again, the beauty about that glue is you get it stuck down and then you can just move it into place. Once you're happy with it, a little bit of... Now you'll notice on this particular, if you've been watching me before, that I didn't actually use my anti-static pad on this one. And that's the beauty of using the clear embossing powder, because if there are any specks anywhere else that have caught, you're not really going to see it. Whereas if it was a purple embossing powder that I'd used and you'd got speckles that had landed on the card, they're going to heat emboss as well as the rest of it. So it's, as I say, the clear embossing powder, I think, is a great addition to a collection. So again, we've got our 5 3/4 inch card, all right, and I've just folded it as if you were going to do a fold back card this way in the book style, but I'm actually going to turn it this way and we're going to make a reverse easel card with it. So papers from that paper pad, beautiful papers in there, and matted and layered on that textured linen cardstock from that same collection. So again, we're just going to pop these in as our matte layers just to add some colour and some extra detail. And then that stamp is going to be our focal piece again. So this one's going in the bottom here. And then I've got a piece from the same paper, so it's just been cut. You can see it's the same size.
Yeah.
And that's going to go in the top. Now you can mat and layer this one as well if you want. When I'm making this style of card, I like to leave this piece blank because that's where I'd write my message inside.
Oh yes, fine.
Alternatively, if you mat it all, you can do a mat layer to go on the back or write your message on the back of it. But I like to pop mine in there when I'm doing this particular style of card. So again, that tape pen, just to add this one in. And then we're going to pop that sentiment on some foam pads again. So again, just line that one up with that border all the way around. So you can see we've got that sort of shape coming now. And then this one's going to sit here and create that sort of like a reverse. Normally, our easel card would fold this way and we'd have this one lining up at the bottom. But just by flipping it back this way, just brings a different look to it. And that's going to create the effect. So I'm just going to pop, and all I want to do is pop foam pads where this is going to fit on the middle.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'm actually going to pop my foam pads onto here so that I know that I'm in sort of the area that I want to be with them. So I'm just going to put 4 in the middle there, like so. Take the edges off. And then we can put this one. Now I've not got anything, this is just cardstock, so again I'm not too worried about the foam pads in this case. And I tend to hold it open to see how much I want to stick up above the card and how much I want. And then I'm basically looking either side to make sure that I'm getting about the right distance at each side, and we're going to go for like so. And then as with any easel card, we need something to stop it sliding. So again, I've been in those same kits and I've just cut out some little embellishments. So the dies are from that original set that I was using that are, I'm sure they're outline dies. The flowers, I've backed them onto some scrap card. Same with the leaves, back them onto some scrap card. And these are going to be my stopper. So I'm going to use the 2 leaves flat. And then I'm going to bring the flowers. I've got foam pads on the back of the flowers. So these are going to go in the middle here. So decide whereabouts you want it to. And I normally go around about halfway. Yeah. And then I'm going to put the leaves flat in the centre there, like so.
I'm sure we had this set on Cartload last night, actually.
What, the dies?
Yeah, that you're using now.
Quite possibly. I like them. I use them a lot.
In one of the bonus buy bags that we have.
They're a really nice size for embellishments and things. Yeah. So again, we just take those foam backs off there, and again, because this is going to act as a stopper, I'm just going to go in with that extra insurance. And again, once we've got this in place, I am literally just going to pop 1 about there. Just hold that tacky glue for a second. And then we're going to pop the other one alongside it. Like so.
Nice to see a little flower used as a stopper, because we normally see a
strip or a bow. There's so many things you could put buttons along there, but because this had the little floral aspect on, it sort of ties in with that nice little piece on the design here with that floral. So you can just see how they're creating that stopper at the bottom. And then you've got that, again, that stamp taking all the glory. That's the bit that you want people to see. Absolutely. And then this actually folds flat then for you to pop in an envelope.
Do you know what, that's it, isn't it? The stamp taking all the glory, the sentiment having the sort of main limelight, if you like. Really love that. More great techniques, Jan says, Nanny to the girls. Thank you. I like the font of these stamps, says Shadiah. Very bold, lots of them bold, and lots of different fonts within the stamps. Linda saying, I always enjoy watching Jan's demos. She explains everything so we can easily understand. And her projects are always brilliant and look amazing. Barbara Satley says, thank you, Jan, for the detailing of the embossing powder. Always picking up lots of hints and tips along the way when Jan's here. Christy's saying, what a stunning card, Jan. And hi to Lorna Jane, who has said, I've treated myself to that Crafter's Companion heat tool. Good that it has the 2 settings. I think a lot of people like the fact it's got the high and low setting on it. Yeah,
because the directional heat tools are quite often just on high power, charge, intense heat for a job. This does both, and I like that. I like that.
Hi to Gwen, who says, Floridian here. Hi, fellow why am I saying fellow Floridians? I'm not from Florida. Hi, Floridians. You say, I haven't been to the Harry Potter experience, but my daughter has. You have to get how did she find it? Was it good? Let us know. You know, because then.
Yeah, as I say, my youngest I think she's been 3 times now.
Yeah.
She absolutely loves it. She's a big Harry Potter fan. Yeah, she's a Harry Potter fan. Yeah, she always has been. So yeah, she's been. But it's like for my previous big birthday when 30th. I was 50. Honestly, they were amazing. They'd done all behind my back and didn't know. One of the other things that I'd had on my bucket list that I'd never got round to doing was seeing the live show of The Lion King. And bless them, they'd actually arranged it all without me knowing. They'd given me a birthday gift as we're going to take you on a surprise journey. And they got me all the way to Liverpool without me knowing what was going on, until we came out of the car park and came slap bang in front of the theatre with all the signs on it. And I ended up just bursting into tears like you do, you know, because it was just such a well-kept secret. And honestly, if you haven't seen it, my goodness, it is well worth a watch.
I think it's so nice to be able to do something special, isn't it? For like big birthdays. I took Laura to Venice for her 40th birthday, which was lovely. Just the 2 of us, you know, for an extended weekend, very romantic. She took me and the kids to Centre Park for my 40th. I mean, it was you know, it was fine, but anyway, a few of you just getting in touch as well, saying my hubby Pamela says takes me to Chester races every year for my birthday in May, and Micheline says my birthday's in May. This year will be my 70th. We're going on an Alaskan cruise to celebrate my birthday, my husband's 60th, and our 30th wedding anniversary.
Lovely.
So that sounds amazing. Right. We are going to have a little break right now. Going to give you the opportunity for you guys to check out your baskets. Keep the comments coming through. Any more questions you want to ask us as well, but more importantly, make sure you get to the checkout right now, and we'll come back in a few moments.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You didn't.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that? Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafter's Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Here is the news. The January news. It's being reported that all this week on Crafters TV, there'll be new products launching each and every day. The January news. Early indications suggest there'll be something new for all crafters,
including confetti borders on Monday the 23rd with Leanne, textured embossing folders with Debbie Fisher on Tuesday the 24th, Sarah's signature love box on Wednesday the 25th with Sarah herself. Thursday the 26th we have quote stamps with Jan. And finally, Floribunda pads with Sarah on Friday the 27th.
When asked for a comment on all the new news, Sarah Davies said, it's gonna be off the chart, man, thebomb.com. For more up-to-the-minute information, check out the Crafters TV website and tune in to Crafters TV all week from Monday, the 23rd of January. That was the January news. Finally, some good news to look forward to.
Welcome back. Thank you to Zoe, who's just said, I got to feed the penguins for my 40th. Where did you do that to? Where was that to? Well, that's very Devonshire, isn't it? Where would be that to, my lover? Where did you go feed the penguins? Because you used to be able to do that back from where I'm from in Devon, in Torquay. There used to be a place called Living Coast, I think I've told you before, where that was all penguins, and you just used to be able to wander around. It was all like netted, and you go in and you just have like little penguins like wandering around you and stuff, and you could like, give him a little pat and stuff. It was super cute. I've got a picture of George when he was about, I think he was about 2 or 3. Huh? Well, you can't pat them and pick one up, you can't do that. But I remember we took George there as a little treat, and he was only like probably about 3. We've got all these pictures where he's like stood right back away from the penguins, and there's like a penguin over there. We go and stand next to the penguin for a picture. He wouldn't do it, bless him.
Pingu.
Oh yeah. Pingu. Dear, oh dear. Is that even still going, that TV show? Pingu. Stephen says, I surprised my mom for her 50th. I took her to see her idol Cher. Yep. We were right by the stage and she cried when we got to the arena, lol. Oh, so nice. Keep this coming through, I like this. What have you done for like special birthdays or special occasions? Have you treated a member of your family, taken them to a special event or away on holiday, or have you been treated by another member of the family for a special occasion? I love that. Yeah, Johnny got taken to New York for his 30th by his wife. That was quite nice, wasn't it? After New York. Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a town. So keep this coming in. Now, sent with love. So I was just thinking of like special things I could do for my next big one. That's not long away. That's scary. When's my next big one? No, mine's like more like 6 years now. My birthday's in April. I'm 44 this year. 44.
Oh.
No, you say you go. Wow,
that's a burn.
The thing is, I can remember being 18, and that was 26 years ago. 26 years ago. And in 26 years from now, I'll be 70. I wonder if I'll still be
Breathe
here.
in.
Yeah.
Breathe out.
No, I don't mean Charlotte. I hope I'll still be here. But what I meant is, will I still be here? Cool, I hope I'm still here, here, as in on Earth. No, I was wondering if I'll still be here doing this when I'm 70. Yes, that's what it will be. We'll still be here, but Johnny's just saying you'll only have to touch your screen and then you'll buy it, and it'll probably come through like a little conveyor belt straight into your house within like seconds. Let's get... Sorry, they're cracking me up in my ear. Let's have a look at the Scent with Love collection. We launched this yesterday. The showstopper sold out, but thankfully we do still have the box available for you. $39.99 or $47.96 is your platinum price here. The contents of this box, I just think it's worth it. You're getting an absolute bargain for £40 or $48 if you're platinum. An absolute bargain, because you've got tons in here. You've got 12 card blanks, 12 envelopes, 24 printed papers, 24 sheets of coloured cardstock, 6 metal charms, 3 satin ribbons, 12 stamps, 22 dies, and a 3D embossing folder, 2 stencils, white cardstock in 8x8, craft cardstock in 8x8, and also 100 adhesive gems included as well. It is huge value for money. As with all of the boxes that we do, you know, you think of like all of our craft kits, the value for money on these is incredible. And I know yesterday, no word of a lie, just so that people could get more of the consumables, people were buying the showstopper, and then you were telling me that you were actually buying another one of the boxes as well, just because you love these papers so much. And I know a lot of you were asking Sarah, and I know she took it on board, whether it will happen or not, I don't know, but a lot of you were saying that you'd love to have these papers in 12 by 12 form and potentially as a download later on down the line. Fingers crossed that would happen, but you know, get these within the box today. You've got 24 of these beautiful papers, 8 designs, 3 of each, and again, it's a case of the reverse of these are just as stunning as the front of them as well, and they work so beautifully together. It's almost like you've had a personal shopper go out, get all of these beautiful designs for you, pop them in the box so you can just literally have the fun of playing with these and creating all of your projects. You're also going to get your 8x8 block colours in there as well, so you're getting 6 colours, 4 of each, and again, you can see no thought for you really as to what works. It all works because we've done it all for you, so all of those work wonderfully. You're then going to get sheets of your white cardstock, and also for the first time in one of these boxes, your craft card as well, so you're getting 8 sheets of each included within the box. On top of that, of course, don't forget you're getting all of your cards and envelopes too. And then your hardware, there's loads in here. Beautiful dies. These are stunning. I'll show you Sarah's makes from yesterday, just in case you did miss the shows. But this frame here, it's almost like a little Polaroid, if you like. Beautiful for popping in your little photos in. You've got this little postage stamp die there, the sort of deckled edge. This is gorgeous as well, this die with the envelope, where you can, it basically cuts here so you can slot in all of the different things like your hearts, and Sarah was creating little floral bouquets in there as well. This is a cute little die too. That one's going to cut you a nice little heart border in, keep the remnants of that for your shakers. You've also got all of the dies then to be able to cut out your stamps which are coming within this set. So 22 dies, 13 stamps included in there as well. Mentioned it earlier, but go back and watch the show yesterday because Sarah did a wonderful bit of heat embossing with this beautiful heart stamp there in gold, and it looked amazing. Some lovely sentiments in there too. And the thing is about this, just as I show you more, there's a wonderful folder in here as well, a 3D embossing folder. I know a lot of you will be thinking about this as Valentine's and sending love on Valentine's Day, but we had a big chat about this yesterday that, you know, whilst you will use this on the 14th of February every year, use it right throughout the year as well, because you can send love on birthdays and anniversaries and wedding days and all sorts of different days. You know, it's a box that I think you'll use for all sorts of different occasions. That's one of your stencils that you're going to get. You're also going to get this one, the Je t'aime, which is the 4x4 stencil. Beautiful. Didn't see those demoed yesterday, but again, you get the gist of just how easy it would be to create a beautiful card with those. Then you're going to get your charms. So you've got 3 designs, 2 of each within the collection. You've got your little hearts there. That one's a beautiful flower. And then you've got your keys. Again, if you want to add a bit of colour to those, you can do that. You've got your ribbons in there as well. So 3 ribbons, 1.5 meters of each, red, blue and pink. And also you have got your gems in there as well, 100 gems, red, blue, and then you've got your clear in there as well if you want to be able to colour those in. So you can see the value for money is amazing. Just to show you a few of Sarah's cards from yesterday. Love this one, which we, as I say, we managed to settle on the fact that this was called a double Dutch card. So again, just a lot of these, I really enjoyed the demos yesterday because whilst the cards look absolutely amazing, you know, very, very professional, they were very easy to follow, very easy to put together. You know, lots of sort of matting and layering with these, but really easy even for beginners to create cards and scrapbook pages, just like this as well. Sarah created a couple of these. Well, actually this one's a card, but she created a couple of scrapbook pages yesterday. This card again, 8x8 size, just a bit of matting and layering, cutting that down by 1/4 of an inch, creating a little shaker card out of that beautiful little Polaroid, popping a little a photo behind there, popping some shaker elements in, using that envelope. Really, really clever. This is the little 8x8 scrapbook page she made. How cute is that? Again, one of her favourite photos of recent times, she was saying, with her and Leanne at the start of January. Again, just a little bit of matting layering, using all of the different textures that you've got within that paper pad. Love that little border across, bit of ribbon. I mean, just so beautiful how it all comes together, and it's really achievable for everybody, no matter where you are within your crafty journey. And this one here, again, just using that embossing folder as an extra little panel for the front of the card there. Again, just a simple bit of matting and layering on the back of the card, using different elements from the stamps and dies to create in that little envelope. Really, really cute, and a really, really wonderfully versatile and crafty box. £39.99. The showstopper went, don't forget, that did sell out. However, you can still get the box. So if you're like a lot of people yesterday thinking, oh yeah, I got the showstopper, but I really like those papers, I like all of the extras, because of course you can't buy those separately, sadly, but you can jump in and get another box. You can get another box, and for that price, for all the consumables, $39.99, $47.96, you might decide to get another box, keep the consumables to yourself, and then you might give the stamps and dice to somebody else as a gift. Just suggesting, but if you want to get it, that one is still available for you at $39.99 or $47.96. Today's brand new launch, because remember that was yesterday's brand new launch. Today's brand new launch are these amazing mindfulness quote stamps. Now, the showstopper deal, which we're showing you here, stock-wise, we're heading towards 60% of the stock gone. So a lot of you jumping in. The showstopper deals have been the most popular. So far this week, they've all sold out, because what we're giving you is we're giving you the brand new launch, because we're doing new launches each and every day, and then we give you a little extra on top. So in this showstopper, you get all of the amazing quotes I'm about to show you, plus you get the pale fig in the quick dry ink pad, but then for free, we're going to give you your lagoon and your parakeet in the quick dry as well. So it's adding a little bit extra into your bundle for you, and it's all about putting items in here like these that work perfectly. As I said earlier on, I don't want you to think like we're just going, oh, showstopper, we'll just throw some random stuff in the bundle. We have a think about what we're putting in there, so it's going to work beautifully for you. So platinum price is £19.15. $28.56 is the price if you're in the US and you're a platinum member. And here are all of these beautiful mindfulness quotes that you're going to get within this set. So you've got the breathe in, breathe out. Then you've got your think happy thoughts, which we've seen now a couple of times, and I think it's a lot of people's favourite, this one actually. Certainly those of you that are buying individually and making your own little bundles up. You've got make today amazing. You've got the dream more, work harder. Good things take time, which is the one that you saw with Jan just a few moments ago. You like that little floral corner that you've got on that stamp. And then you've got the Giggle More, Worry Less, which, as I say, is our favourite one here. 6 wonderful stamps, wonderful sayings, and wonderful designs and fonts on those as well, which you guys are absolutely loving. Thank you for the comments coming through. Lots to chat about that Sent with Love. Dan saying that is the best box. I ordered it yesterday. And Peg saying I ordered it yesterday. Probably won't get here in time for this Valentine's, but I'll save it for next year. Don't just use it for Valentine's. Use it all year round, just when you need to send love to somebody. And thank you, by the way, to everybody who has sent in what you've done for special birthdays and special wedding anniversaries. We'll read a few of those out whilst we're looking at this next demo, but let's get into it with Jan. Which one of the stamps are you going to be working with, Jan?
We're going to giggle more.
Yay!
We're going to giggle more and worry less this time we are, yeah. So it needed to feature in there, didn't it? So again, we're looking at about 3.5 by 2.8, nearly 3 this time. So there's just a fraction in the size of the stamps. But again, when I keep putting them on my hand, because that gives you an idea there, of the size of them. They are a good sort of palm size of your hand. So acrylic set of stamps there. So again, I'm just going to peel this off the carrier sheet, and this time we're going to do a resist technique. So I'm back with my multi-purpose card. You can understand now why we changed the name of it, because it just does so many different things. So what I'm going to do is just get this in position where I want it, and then I'm going to stamp in the clear sticky ink and use clear embossing powder. Now, you might think, well, what's the benefit of that? But just stay with me. Oh, hang on a second. What's going off? Don't pick the stamping platform up with its foot, Jan.
Oh, is the foot falling off?
There we are, we're good, yep. So again, pick up your stamp there. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about the anti-static pad again, because with the clear embossing powder, like I said, it doesn't matter if you get an odd speck here and there. So what I'm actually going to do is build up a layer of clear embossing powder over that stamped image.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use the inks over the top to create like a resist technique. So wherever I've got the embossed part, which is all the wording, it's going to resist the inks. They won't stick to that surface because it's not a porous surface. Once the embossing powder's been heat set, it's like a smooth, shiny surface, so the inks just won't stick to it. So again, we're going to pop this down on here, and I'm going to make sure that I have plenty of pressure to transfer that sticky ink. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't show that well at this point on camera, so just bear with me and the magic will appear.
Okay.
Okay, so it's hard to show you when we've done the sticky ink on white card what we're actually talking about here. So plenty of pressure on there to make sure that that ink's stuck to my card. And as I said, there's not a lot to see there. So what I'm actually going to do now is lift it and coat it with the clear embossing powder. Now you can do this with white embossing powder as well. It works nicely with white.
Yeah.
But obviously the clear is going to show the white card underneath. So once we've done the job here, okay, let me just have a little look. I think we're good there. If there's any surplus, we can just get rid of it. And if you do get any stray pieces knocking about, just get a dry paintbrush.
Yeah.
And you can usually just knock those out of the way with a paintbrush. All right, and then I'm going to heat set this. Okay, so as I say, at the moment, there's not a massive amount for you to see. But when I start introducing the inks, you'll see what I mean. So again, I'm just going to heat it.
Okay, whilst you're heating, I'll read a few of these loads coming in. Tess says, my sweet daughter always arranges special treats for my birthday. Once she rented a convertible for me to drive, and we travelled to an Alabama concert with stage front seats.
Oh, wow.
Lynette, this is amazing. Many moons ago for my 21st, I got taken to the Albert Hall to see Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
I wish I'd seen Sinatra when he was alive. One of my absolute faves. And Kathy says, when I turned 40, my co-workers held a surprise party for me. They even had my mother and husband in attendance. We had a great time. When I was a child, my parents gave me a swimming party and a party at a roller skating rink.
Oh, wow.
And Susie says, I threw my parents a surprise 25th anniversary party at their house years ago. It was so much fun, and they were surprised. We had friends and family travel from all over to surprise them. Even the priest that had married them turned up as well.
Wow.
Which is great. And Val says, for my 60th, the ladies' darts team and I took me to the Eden Project in Cornwall for a weekend. A distant memory now, as I will be 73 in August, says Val. Thank you for all of those. Love the Eden Project, amazing down in Cornwall. Oh, you can just about see that now.
Yeah, just about. I'm not quite happy with the way it's stamped. So what I'm actually going to do is clean my stamp. Because I've taken it off the stamping platform, obviously it's not going to line up again. So I'm just going to give that a clean.
Okay.
And I'm literally going to lay the stamp over where I've already stamped.
Yeah.
In an attempt to get it lined up. I have got one that's already finished, but if it's not stamped properly, I won't be able to show you the technique properly. So I'm going to go, I'm just sort of having a look underneath to see where it's not easy, but we might just get it in the right place. If not, as I say, I've got one that I've already done. So I'm going to go with that. I'm literally going to repeat that process because I think the ink had sort of, either this is getting a bit dry or I think the card had soaked up some of that ink. So again, give it another coating of ink. And you can build this up. Like we said, we talked about this before where, you know, you can ink over what's already been done and I can add some more embossing powder. It's just whether I've got this lined up. You'll still get the idea. I'll show you the technique and then, as I say, I've got one that's finished. But we just need to make sure that the whole of the lettering is covered in the embossing powder. Otherwise, the rest of it's not going to work. So let's try it again. That doesn't look too bad. And then again, I'm just going to add another layer
Okay.
in the hope that this is going to reach the bits that we missed. Yeah, that looks better. And then just heat set that one again.
Okay.
And then I'll show you the actual inking.
Beth is saying, my brother surprised me with tickets to a Van Halen concert back in '84. He stayed in overnight. We had great seats. It was a great birthday. You like a bit of rock, don't you, Jan?
I do like a bit of rock.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like Van Halen?
No, not so much.
Not so much Van Halen. And Sadai says, for my birthday last year when I was in North Carolina, my nephew took me and the family to the cinema to see Wakanda Forever. That's Black Panther, isn't it?
Yeah.
Black Panther movies. Creative blessings. Like May, for our wedding anniversary, my hubby and I are going on a wedding cruise that starts in Southampton, and following the cruise we head to Birmingham and to your closest store to say hello, says Creative Blessings. I'm excited. And Rhonda says, when I turned 40, my husband paid for an aeroplane flying lesson. It was the best gift ever.
Wow. There's lots of ideas out there.
No, these are great, aren't they?
Lots of ideas. Well, not only have I got a big birthday this year, I've got a big wedding anniversary next year as well. So I might let Steve read some of the comments and get him thinking.
Give him some ideas.
Yes, yes. Right, so we've just about, I did actually not quite get it lined up here, but you'll get the idea. And as I say, I've got a finished one. So we need to make sure that that has cooled. It only takes about 30 seconds or more.
Yep.
And then once it's cool, I'm just going to make sure that there's no stray pieces of embossing powder. And then what I've done is I've got those same two colours that we used earlier, but I've gone to the water reactive inks this time. Earlier on we did, just to show you that the quick dries could be used off the glass mat. This time we're going to use a little bit of water reactive and actually do like you would normally do with a sort of making a background, but we're going to do it over the top of the actual heat embossing.
Yeah.
So again, take off any excess, and I'm going to come from the top side of that circle, just gently down to about the middle-ish, because we're going to overlap them in the middle and make a secondary colour there.
Okay.
So again, nice and light. I don't want it too much. And then I'm going to swap over for the pink. Little bit of that on there. And then from the bottom part of it here, and I'm just going to bring this in to hold what I've already done. And then put the pink at the bottom. Again, I don't want to go too heavy-handed because I don't want it to be too dark, but I'm going to bring the pink into the yellow to create that sort of orangey peachy section across the middle there. Okay. So that's that one. And then as always, when I'm doing that kind of technique, I come back with the lighter one and just blend it back again. So that you've got that sort of blend in the middle there.
Oh, great, yeah.
So you can see those two. And then, like I said before, just give that ink a second. Where we've heat embossed, that ink won't settle. It may stain it, like I've got a little bit on there now, but it won't settle. So what I'm going to do is make sure my cloth's dry and just buff. And can you see how it comes up nice and white again? So you've actually got that wording showing through there now. So if I just lift that one up now, you can see, just missed the alignment slightly here on this corner. But what's happened is it's embossed the wording and we can see the white card showing through. And then it's resisted where I've actually put the inks in. So the one that I did at home is I went a little bit heavier with the ink, and I think it shows up a little bit more on that one as well. Now, as I say, it works great with white embossing powder as well, rather than the clear. So you could have done this all in white, and then it would have shown through as well. But just to give that little bit of a buff on the top. Now, you can still see, we should be able to pick up that writing is actually shiny, look. So that's got that lovely gloss from the embossing powder, yeah?
You see it now,
and then you've got that sort of, that detail in the background. And then again, I've popped a different style together for this one. So for those of you that have not seen this one before, all right, I've taken my base card, which I think, was the 5 3/4. And I've actually cut the corners off it. So if I pop it back together and reconstruct it, you can see that was my square corner. All right, so whatever size your card is, you're going to find the central point, and then I've cut from the centre to the top right corner and taken this piece out. Okay. And then I've taken centre to the top left and cut that piece out.
Yeah.
All right. And then I've made my mats and layers. So we're going to put one on the top here. Now this is a completely different paper bag there.
The gnomes.
So it is the gnome garden. Well spotted.
My favourite.
Well spotted, yep.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and then I've got some embellishments this time from the Daisy collection. So a little bit of mix and match with this one.
Yeah.
So these are made just to fit in here. And to make your mats and layers, do exactly the same thing. So for example, let me just get that one stuck down. If this was the 5 3/4 square, your first mat layer would be 5 1/2 square.
Yeah.
So do the same. Take your 5 1/2 square, find the centre, and cut these same pieces off. And then you will get the pieces that are going to mat on here. And you do the same again with your next layer, which would be 5 1/4.
Yeah.
And follow that same method. So the pieces that I've cut away are now actually going to fill those gaps there. So again, that one's going to mat onto this one. You've just got that nice little white border showing. And then we've got the same at this side. And then I've got a piece to go inside the card. All right, now you might want to put a plain mat layer in the back if you want to write inside it. I sometimes write on the back of the cards. I like the fronts to be decorated nicely. So this one's going to go inside. So again, taking that centre out of the card, just so that I could use that for something else.
Yeah.
It's always worth it, especially if it's a nice card stock. You don't want to waste it. And then again, that one's going to go in there, okay? So to construct this now then, we're actually going to swap sides. So these were like so. I'm actually going to swap them over, okay? And what we want to do is we want to turn them. All right. Hang on, am I swapping them over? No, I'm not swapping them over. Don't swap them over, Jan. Keep them at the right side. Okay, my mistake. All right. So we're going to turn them so that if you look at it, you've got like a right-angled triangle.
Yeah.
You want this right-angled bit to turn to the edge of your card. And the way to line it up is to make sure that this edge here matches the outside edge of your card, and this edge comes level with the base of your card.
Okay.
And then we're just going to stick it in this top piece. So all I'm going to do is pop some glue in that central part of that panel, and again make sure that it fits the edge and the bottom, and then stick that one down.
Kathy just asked, would it hurt your stamping platform to heat the embossing powder while still anchored down on your magnetic platform in case you needed to touch it up?
I've never tried that, purely because that is made of plastic.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much heat it would take. But the secret is just to mark where you're, if you're in any worries about that first level taking, mark where you've had it. All right, pop a little bit of tape or something to show where you've had the card, and that way it's easy enough. So, even if it was a circle, you could mark the top left corner and the right left corner so that you get the circle sat back in between. So it's easy enough to do. It's just sometimes you forget that you might need to go back in and do it again. So this time we're going to come, same again, and we're going to stick across here like so. So we've actually created that different design, which stands up nicely. Okay, it slips a little bit on my glass mat, but if I pop it on the front there, you can see if our Charlotte just zooms out a little bit for me, look, she's there, it will stand up. They do tend to slip a little bit on the glass mat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make that sentiment be the focal point. So I've cut a little bit more pink, which is going to go right across the centre here with this one on the top. And again, that all of a sudden becomes that focal point of the card. So a bit of adhesive on the back of here. Again, you can raise up some of these sections if you wish. I'm actually going to keep this one reasonably flat because we've got a little bit of bulk with all the layers going on here. Okay. And then this one is going to go right in the centre like so. All right. So I think I might put a couple of, because I'm not actually sending mine anywhere, I can probably get away with a couple of these on. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3 straight up the middle, I think, like so, yep. And then pop that one right in the centre. So you're going to look at the whole card then and centre this in the whole of the card, like so.
Love this.
Okay, that's that one. And then just to finish off, as I say, I've just used the daisies and just made a nice little embellishment there and some of the leaves, and we're just going to stick that one on the top there. So again, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a little bit of my
Chunky.
3D gel just to pop on, because we've got a little bit of height there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pop a bit of that on the back, and that way I can actually get it to sit level with the raised part. And then these two will just then slide into the back behind it, and then we're sorted. So
What a very happy card that is.
It's nice and bright, isn't it?
The colours match the sentiment, I think.
So 1, 2. Okay. If you're using your 3D gel, don't forget to squeeze the glue until you can see it. If I actually pop it there, actually get the glue to come out before you put the lid back.
Does that stop it from getting all clogged?
The air will set the glue. The air reacts with, the glue reacts with air. So if you leave it where you've squeezed it and it's gone back down into the tube and then put the lid on, you're trapping air inside. So the next time you come try to get it out, it's solid as a rock. Literally, it's set. So just by squeezing that up and making contact with the inside of your lid, there's no air in there now. So it's good to go the next time. Yep. It's worth remembering, otherwise you end up wasting, and trust me, I've done it, you end up wasting a whole carton of a tube of glue. So again, I'm just going to pop that behind it so it doesn't slip on the mat there. But yeah, nice and bright, ready for spring.
Yeah.
And I just think that sentiment's ace, isn't it? Giggle more, worry less.
It really is, and the colours that you've used there and the papers that you've used in that Gnomes collection really suit that particular sentiment. I love it. Ella just said that she's ordered these. Says Jan has convinced me that I love them. They're so versatile. I've just received my delightful daisies yesterday as well, and I'm simply floating in happiness, she said.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Lot of love for that scent with Love Box, which I was showing you. That's coming through as well. Rhonda just said, for my 50th birthday, my husband surprised me with Celine Dion tickets whilst we were in Las Vegas.
Some of these are going to be hard to live up to, aren't they?
And this one, Stephen, you have to tell me what kind of show it was, but you say for my mum's 60th, I took her to see Steven Seagal, and after his show, what was he doing? Like a martial arts? He does like martial arts theatre shows, does he? Anyway, he says after his show, he walked into the restaurant, and there he was sitting there eating a burger.
Wow.
She's a massive fan of his films and was so funny. She was like a little schoolgirl, lol.
Oh, bless. It's lovely when those surprises like that have the desired effect, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Steven Seagal. What's that movie I like of his? Under Siege. Good one, that, isn't it? On the boat. You seen that one?
I'm not a big fan, to be honest. No, I'm not. I will be honest. I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. If you like action movies, it's a good one. Right, let's have a look at what else we've got on the show. Discovery kit to show you here. A couple of Craft Vault deals for you. Craft Vault tonight from 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. $5.99 for one of our craft kits, or $7.99, saving 50%, less another 20. This is the manga and comic one with the instructions and sort of forward, if you like, from Nicola Yao. I think actually we had this one. Yeah, I haven't got everything in here, but I can show you the pens that you're going to get with this. Basically, what you've got within the box is all of the pens that you're seeing here. So you've got 3 of our illustrators. You're getting 2 of the classics as well. Just for the pens alone, $5.99 is ridiculous to get 5 of our pens. Or 6, including your outliner, of course. You're also going to get all your marker paper in there as well. You've got the printed marker paper and your blank paper to practice on. You've got your how-to booklet as well. And as I say, all of those markers in there. So in the classics, you've got your Poppy DR2, you've got your Blue Grey 5. And then in the illustrators, you've got your cerulean, you've got your silk, and you've got your suntan. So IB3, CR1 and CR3, and of course you've got your art liner included in there as well. That's the Black Point 3. You know, great for doing all of your lines and effects with. But for that lot alone, amazing. But you do get all of your papers, your marker paper in there as well, and that how-to booklet from Nicola Yao included. What a great buy that is, just to even for you, if you're looking to like stock up on your Spectrum Noir pens, that's great. But as a nice little gift, Sarah again was talking last night about the Discovery kits, and particularly like the manga and comic one. You know, great for kids, great for birthday presents if you want to get the kids into colouring. You don't want to spend a huge amount, normally £15, $20. You're under £6, $8 tonight. And also on the show this evening, really, really popular, the Classiques. This is the dual set for you. So our Classique markers, again, alcohol markers, dual-ended. Again, perfect for doing all of your blending techniques with, but these come with the fine nib one end, and then you've also got that beautiful chisel nib the other end. So great for doing those bigger, bold sort of sweeps of colour, and again you can see all of the different colours that you're going to get on the top here. So you've got sangria lipstick and amber, you've got your fern green, jade green and Caribbean, navy blue, cobalt and dark blue, and then you've got your damson, cranberry and cocktail pink. So again, a lovely selection of colours there for you to get blending with your Classiques. And what a deal again, that is a half price deal on core products, right? This is stuff that flies out of the door each and every day. Our Spectrum Noir pens across the range, you guys are happy to pay that £20, that $32. So snap these up again. If you're a fan, you'll be grabbing them. If you just want to try the Classiques, maybe you've never used them before, this is again an opportune moment to do it. £7.99 platinum or $12.79 is incredible. We've got just under half an hour to go. I think, so are we going to do the vote for the demo of the show and day, did you say, in this show? Just the show. Okay, so we'll do the demo of the day a little bit later on. Just to read a few comments coming through. You guys are loving it. Love this, Jan, says Beth. Awesome, says Christy. Pamela says cute, beautiful, I love it. Gorgeous, Jan, says Meave. Lynette saying what a beautiful, cheerful card. Stephanie says so cheerful. I love that little daisy as well. Deborah says lovely, bright, cheery card. And Terry saying what a spectacular card, Jan. Super cheery. Let's have a look at the showstopper. The Mindfulness quote stamp and ink pad set. We're at 60% of the showstopper gone. It's going to go the same way as all the others. This will disappear and sell out. So get it whilst you can. We will still have stock of these stamps available, but once the showstopper's gone, it's gone. So if you like the idea of getting more bang for your buck, make sure you snap it up. Basically, the value for money here is that you get all 6 of the new stamps and the pale fig in your quick dry, but then we're going to give you 2 more of your quick dry ink pads for free within the bundle. So you've got your parakeet and also your lagoon included for free, and then you get all of these stamps included as well. So the one that you've just seen, our favourite here, how lovely was that last card? I've got a feeling that is a strong contender for demo of the show, but we'll wait and see. You'll get to vote in about 15 minutes. You've got Giggle More, Worry Less. You've got Good Things Take Time, which you've already seen on this show as well. Dream More, Work Harder, which you've seen today too. I think we've seen pretty much all of these now, haven't we? Not this one. Make Today Amazing. You've seen Think Happy Thoughts. And also in the set, you've got this one here, Breathe In, Breathe Out. We are going to have a look at our final demo of the show just now. £19.15 platinum, $28.56 if you're shopping in the US, and then we'll get the vote going. Thank you, Stephen, who says, Steven Seagal, no, he wasn't doing a show. He's in a band, apparently. He sings blues, music and country. I was naughty at the end of the show. I took his towel and water bottle. I mean, you are brave. Take it, Stephen Seagal. I wouldn't be doing that. I had to hide them under my top when we bumped into him at the restaurant. I mean, if you're going to steal someone's water bottle and towel, I mean, it wouldn't be Steven Seagal's as far as I'm concerned. Brilliant. Even though he's just a cook, a lowly, lowly cook. That's what he says, doesn't he? Never mind. And Emma says, my husband jumped out of a plane on his 40th, raising loads of money for our daughter's spina bifida charity. I mean, that is another great way to celebrate a big occasion, an amazing thing to do, an amazing way to raise money for charity as well. Right, final demo.
We're going to make today amazing.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, you see? Okay. So again, This one, 3.4 by 3.5. So as I say, roughly in general across the set, you're looking at around about 3.5 square. But again, you've got that mix of fonts in here, which just, I think they're really, you know, for them all to be done in the same font, there'd be a nice font, a nice stamp set. But I just love the mixing and matching of the fonts there. So, so this time we're actually going to stamp onto a piece of pattern vellum. And this is from that same collection. So I've actually got my matte layer at the ready with papers from the Say It With Flowers, and then we're actually going to pop this one over the top. All right, now it doesn't show a lot from the paper to the vellum, but once we get the embossing, which we're going to do in black this time, it'll really pop.
Okay.
Now the reason I got the piece of white card was so that you'd be able to see what I'm doing better on here. So I'm going to pop the white card into my stamping platform as a base, because obviously this is going to show all the grid lines through and you'll not be able to see it as well. So if I can get the magnets off, there we go. We're going to pop that larger piece in just as a base to work on. Okay, and then I'm going to anchor this one with the magnets. And then because this is a smaller piece that I've cut down ready, I'm just going to use my dotty tape pen in a couple of places here and stick it to this one so that I know exactly where I'm working. Okay, so that's not going to show, it'll come off and the dots will rub off the back if we don't need them. And then take our stamp set and position it where we want it to be on top of the vellum. So again, I'm just sort of eyeballing it to get it straight and get it roughly in the centre there. Okay. And then pick that up with our platform. And then what we're going to do this time is you've got choices again. So you can actually stamp with your clear sticky ink and use a black embossing powder.
Yep.
All right, a lot of people do that. I personally don't like that because all those speckles of black that then melt when you're heating it, you tend to get bits maybe where you don't want it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go the other way around, and again I'm going to stamp in the black ink and I'm going to heat set it with my clear powder, so that if that clear powder is spread anywhere I don't want it to, it's not as obvious that there's little speckles of it on there. Now because this is vellum, I am going to take my little anti-static bag and just give it a wipe over just to make sure that there isn't anything on it that, you know, any oils or anything on it that's going to prevent it from working. Like I said earlier, if you don't have the anti-static bags, we do sell them on the website. There's a little dinky one, it's really, really cute.
It's a hamster pillow.
You don't need much of it. If you don't have it, you can use talc with a brush and just brush off the excess, or cornstarch, brush off the excess, something like that. So again, I'm going to do that 2-level stamping. I'm going to stamp first with the quick dry to get that intensity of black, and then I'm going to put the pigment one, which will be wet, to attract the embossing powder. Okay, now to stamp the quick dry on here normally, you'd have trouble with it drying because your vellum's not porous, so the ink would just sit on the top. So if you wanted to stamp a black ink on here to work with just on its own, I nearly always revert back to my StazOn ink pad for that.
Okay.
All right. But because I'm going to add the sticky ink and the embossing powder, it'll seal what's underneath. Okay. So first job then is that first layer. So this is the quick dry one. And we're going to ink up the surface of that stamp. And just for the benefit of anybody that wasn't listening earlier, when you get your stamps, if you've purchased this set today, or even if if you've just tuned in and just picked an odd one or two out, they will come to you with a coating, which is all part of the manufacturer process. So the first time you use them, you need to get rid of that coating. So either a quick rub over with a wet wipe or a damp paper towel, something like, maybe not a paper towel, but a damp cloth. You can actually use a very, very fine emery cloth to just get it away. What I tend to do is use my sticky ink first and then add my colour over the top, and that works absolutely fine. So number one then, we're going to pop this down onto that vellum. Make sure we give it a good press to make contact. Okay. And then lift it carefully. You can see we've got our black. Do you know, I'm beginning to wonder if that's my stamp because it's missed that top section.
Oh, yeah, you did that the other one,
and maybe
didn't it?
I'm just not pressing that hard up, that far up. Nah, that's it, that's better. I just hadn't gone that far up. And then I'm going to do the same again to build up that black. So you've seen how I've done this on several of these demos now.
I'll tell you what as well, if you haven't got your 8x8 stamping platform as well.
If this is not a reason to buy it, I don't know what is.
You've literally used it all day, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just building up that density. So this has given me the colour, but like I say, this won't dry.
No.
If I did the technique where we rub it on a porous, it'd just smudge it everywhere. Absolute mess, you know, completely ruined. So that's the second layer. And then I'm going to switch to the opaque pigment this time because this is the one that stays open for longer. Now, if there's any residue of your other ink, it's not going to hurt it. They're both water-based inks. But this has got that open time in it, which means it's going to stay that little bit wetter for long enough for me to get my embossing powder on it. So again, nice good coverage. Line it up again. Stamp that directly over the top of what we've already got. Transfer that nice sticky ink there. Okay. Right over everything else, and then as soon as we've done that, we're going to lift it off. Those dots are only sticking it in places, and then pop that clear. So this is going to allow the black to show through now when we heat set it, rather than the clear.
Yeah.
You can see how it's gone all sort of hazy again with that powder. Okay, now what we want to do now is heat set this, so we're going to melt the powder. Now vellum obviously is very, very lightweight, it's quite flimsy, so the least amount of time that you're on that vellum with the heat, the better. It will turn much, much quicker than it does on cardstock, but I still want my heat tool up.
Do you have to hold that further away?
Not necessarily. It's just, you'll watch, it'll literally just glide over the top of it this time. Whereas on the cardstock, you have to sort of get it to melt. Honestly, it just goes really quickly. So because this is quite close, I'm going to pop my tweezers in there so that I don't burn my fingers. And again, I'm going to do this from the top because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start up here, and we're literally going to hold it on, and it'll pretty much go, look, instantly.
Oh, it's gone, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So because it's very, very thin underneath, the minute you get that heat anywhere near it, look, and as soon as it's done...
It's like double time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Double quick.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to move my tweezers around that side. And you can just see, look, literally as soon as the heat hits it, it doesn't take very long at all.
Yeah.
So just finish that off all the way down.
I'm loving the sound effects from producer Johnny in the gallery. He's loving this. That's great.
Okay, and that's it, that's finished. You don't need to do any more. So don't keep hovering over it, don't keep wafting it about.
No.
But you've actually got now, and if I bring that white one back so you can see it a wee bit better, you've got that sentiment really doing its thing on that vellum now. And again, the same we had a question the other day, Ben, about heat embossing onto acetate. It's the same with the acetate. Make sure it's heat resistant acetate.
Yes, of course.
And again, it will go quickly like this. So get your heat tool up to temperature and then literally skate across it, and as soon as it's turned, in fact, I've just got a little bit in the middle there that I've missed. I can just see when I'm moving it that it's not shiny.
Such a perfectionist.
I am, and I don't want it to smudge. So just in the middle there, I can see a bit that's not gone shiny. There we go. That's better. Just making sure I've got it all. Otherwise, as I say, it will smudge. I think it's where it's been in the light. I was maybe a bit too quick there. Yeah, because it's got that ink underneath, I need to make sure that it's all done. So yeah, just makes a really nice alternative. Now again, you could actually pop this into an aperture so that you've got some light behind the acetate, behind the vellum.
Yeah.
Or I'm literally going to pop it over the top, but you can see now, even though it's vellum, you've still got that lovely outstanding sort of sentiment there with the embossing.
Looks
now
great.
again, another question that we get asked a lot is about adhering vellum. So you can actually pop the glue dots behind the embossing just to sort of hide it behind something that's already there. But I've actually just brought some little tiny, I like to do it with the brads. I've got some little tiny gold brads here. All right, so I'm just going to pop it in place.
Okay.
I'm going to bring my pokey tool.
Oh,
so I'm going to decide. In fact, I'm just going to put. I just want to make sure it's dry. I'll pop a few dots in the centre behind that letter there. Look.
Good question from Jennifer as well. You know, talking about, so if you're getting these stamps, new stamps that you say sometimes have that coating on, she said, can we use the stamp cleaning station to get the stuff off a new stamp before we use it? Or would that not work?
It may. That's not something I've tried. I'd not thought about
An
that.
idea, isn't it?
Have a go.
Why not?
You'll be able to tell because if you feel it, it is actually a little bit greasy.
Yeah.
You'll feel the coating on top of them. If you feel it with your finger, it does feel a little bit greasy on top. So if you use the stamp cleaner, and then it should feel like a stamp.
Give it a try.
So
then,
yeah,
Jennifer.
give it a try.
Let
us know.
Yeah,
I've not tried that one. I don't have the stamp cleaner, I must admit, so I've not actually tried that.
Susie's just updated, said, Leanne said yes to the cleaning station and new stamps.
Excellent.
So there we go.
There you go. And she's the one to know.
Yes.
All right. Right, so all I'm going to do with my pokey tool then is I'm just going to go through all 3 layers now, and please be careful with this. If you're unsure about it at all, and I don't think I've got any here, is use a piece of either blue tack, white tack, whatever it is, piece of putty, something like that, clay, pop it on here and press into it with your pokey tool. All I'm going to do is literally push mine through all 3 layers there,
okay,
like
yeah.
so.
Mind
But
you.
just be careful. Remember that this does hurt.
Yes, mind your fingers.
And again, I'm talking from experience. You know, I've had it in the end of my finger before now. So, yeah, be careful. All right, so I'm just going to go through all 4 corners. And I've just used some of the little glue dots to hold it in place. And then just pop these through and then split the pins at the back. That's usually the hardest bit, to be honest. There we go. So 1. How are we doing for time? I've just got to pop this together then. And we're actually going to pop this one on top of a gift box.
Oh, nice.
You know, so just so that you can bring these sentiments into other projects. You know, they don't have to just be cards. All right, so again, just split those little pins at the back. And it's a nice way, I think, of adhering vellum. I tend to do this quite a lot. I just like, and it's that extra little touch there. They look like little metal sort of rivets in there. You can just see them in the corners. And then all we're going to do is use this on top of the box. So I've got some of those strips that I've matted and laid to go on the side of the box there. So we'll just quickly pop those on.
Yeah.
And again, you know, you can do this with any of the papers from that pad or anything that you have in your stash. It doesn't have to be. Such a lot of the more recent collections have had those matching vellums in.
Yeah,
that
correct.
you could do this pretty much with any of the collections that you've got now. I think vellum's something that's very underused because generally people don't know what to do with it.
That's the truth, isn't it?
I
We get
used
so
to
many
be like
questions
that.
about vellum.
I used to be like that. You know, it's like, what on earth do you do with it? So yeah, just trying to incorporate it into those designs a bit more.
There's loads of comments just whilst we're watching you stick in. Jan, it's gorgeous, says Tess. Laurie says, awesome embossing, looking awesome, says Miriam. Great idea, Jan, the double stamping for colour and the embossing, says EB. I'll definitely be trying that. Ooh, the embossing looks really nice on the vellum, says Michelle Parsons. And Eleanor just says, I ordered all sorts of things from Crafter's Companion for my 9 grandchildren. They loved all the pens, pencils, markers, kits, paper and cardstock. It made me as happy as they were. They all love their art, and certainly plenty of lovely comments coming through about this demo. You'll get to vote for your favourite in just a few minutes' time. This is the last one, and the vote for the demo of the show. But yeah, that's brilliant. The embossing on the vellum looks amazing. Look at that.
So again, it's just a different way of using, you know, those elements that we've got. So just quickly pop this together. I've already popped the base. The base is just a plain white base. So that base is the multi-purpose card again. If you wanted to pop a piece, I sometimes pop if I've got a spare pattern paper left over, I sometimes pop a little piece inside the base of the box just to link it together. It depends how much is left. Okay. And then just with that base, that one's going to go on top. You know, you've got a gorgeous little gift box there with that lovely embossing over the vellum, just to add that extra touch and that extra layer of interest. And again, like I say, if you've got paper left over, you can pop it. I sometimes like to pop a bit in the base of the box there just to link it together. But yeah,
Super duper.
Fantastic.
What a lovely way to wrap up the demos on this show. I'll tell you what, I'll just remind you of all of the sentiments that you're going to get, and then we'll get the vote in with Jan in just a few seconds' time. So all of Jan's mates you'll have the chance to vote for. This is your showstopper. We are over 60% of the stock gone now, well over 60%. You guys are loving this. For under £20 today, if you're platinum, under $30, you've got a lovely collection. 6 of our mindfulness quote stamps, and in the showstopper you get the Pale Fig quick dry ink pad, and then we give you 2 more in the Parakeet in the Lagoon for free. So here you're going to get the 6 sentiments. So the Giggle More, Worry Less, which you've seen on this show. Love that. Good things take time, which you've also seen. Dream more, work harder. We've covered the lot now, haven't we? Make today amazing, which you've just seen on the vellum there on that box. Oh, then you've also got think happy thoughts. And lastly in the collection, really lovely, very simple but lovely, breathe in, breathe out. £19.15, $28.56. Snap it up. Of course, you can continue to buy after the show, but don't hang around because, as I said, all the previous showstoppers have disappeared rather quickly. Let's get the vote going then, and then I'll just recap on a few other big sellers from this show. So your chance to vote for your demo of the show, in case you've missed them, or Jan has got the full lineup of what she's made.
Right, so top of the show then. We just used a very, very simple sort of inky background there that we did with the quick dry inks and a brush, and pop that stamp over the top.
Okay.
So that's just your normal opening card. That was number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, we went for the opaque inks and added the clear embossing powder again. So we've got that lovely sort of shimmery sheen on there.
Yeah.
I made the reverse easel. That's number 2. Number 3, we made that arrow and popped the Giggle More, Giggle Less with the resist technique. So that was the clear embossing with the inks over the top. That was number 3.
Johnny says 3.
And number 4, we've just heat embossed onto the vellum there and added that onto our gift box there. So 4 to choose from.
Johnny says 3. Charlotte says 4. Well, I like 3 and 4, but let's make it interesting. I'll say 1. Jan, you say 2, and then one of us will win.
One of us is going to be right.
Yes.
I like your thinking.
You got about 2 minutes to get your vote in on that. I can already see lots of votes coming through. Going to be an interesting one, is this. The Say It With Flowers paper pad and luxury linen card collection is proving really, really popular. This is gorgeous. I mean, if you have any love for flowers at all, this needs to be in your basket. It needs to be checked out. If you maybe missed the collection when we launched it and you're seeing this for the first time, no doubt you'll be grabbing it. If you are someone perhaps who's already got the collection, stock up on this now, because once it's gone, remember, it has gone. That's it. It won't be back. It's a lovely, lovely collection of beautiful florals. The reverse, of course, matches perfectly to the front of your papers in here. And like we said, it's almost like the reverse is just sort of taking off the detail of the florals, and then you've got that beautiful background to work with as well. Plenty of florals for all seasons, for all occasions. Lots of snippability that you've got within this paper pad as well, and some really gorgeous colour tones in here too. It is stunning. You're getting 36 double-sided sheets within that collection, and alongside that you've got your matching linen cardstock too, which you've seen on this show. Seen lots of the Say It With Flowers papers, and then that gorgeous, that's not in there, that gorgeous linen cardstock included as well. So you've got 3 sheets in these 8 beautiful colours with that linen effect running through, and then you've got 24 sheets in total in that set. Definitely one to be stocking up on at £20.38 or $27.15. I know a lot of people have been shopping for that today and popping it in their basket alongside the brand new launch. Also, just to show you, whilst we're waiting for that vote to come in, the colour blends, we've got a big craft vault coming your way this evening. So 6 o'clock this evening, at 1 o'clock Eastern time, big craft vault, which is all Spectra Noir based. So we're going to do it in the way that it will be quite fast, quite furious, but we'll also be taking your questions in that craft vault, and Jan is going to be taking those questions. Anything that you want to see as well is kind of any techniques, that kind of thing, then we will obviously do that for you as well. So a craft vault in essence that is going to be quick, but also we're going to get those questions off you and show those tips and techniques. I just wanted to quickly show you one of the deals which has been very popular. For those of you that watched the Cartload show last night, you'll be like, hang on a minute, I thought this was just for last night only. We've rolled it over because it was so super popular, so super popular. So this was already in the show, so we've honoured the price which we had last night from Cartload. It's your £10, $10 box of primaries in the colour blend pencils. $12.50 if you're not a Club Inspire member, but listen, you're going to get all of these, all 24, at that price. Snap these up because they won't be this price tomorrow. If you like the look of those as well, we've got a lovely set of the Aquas as well at a similar sort of price. We have a result. Demo of the show. Jan's gone early. She's picked up her prediction. Is that 3? It's right. That is really, really pretty.
Johnny was right.
Johnny was like,
Yeah,
I got
bit
it.
different, isn't it? And very much leading us into spring in hopefully in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not long to go. What a lovely, lovely card. Lovely, lovely show. Thank you so much, Jan. We're nipping off a little bit early because we've got a meeting to go to, haven't we? So we're going a little bit early.
Yeah.
But thank you for the brilliant show. Thank you for all of your comments. We are back at 6 o'clock for that big Craft Vault show, so do not miss out. Continue to check out your baskets after the show. Of course, don't miss out on that showstopper. It will disappear. And join us back later on. Any questions that you've got about anything on the Spectrum Noir range, have a think about them now and get ready to throw them our way later on this evening. Massive thank you to Jan. Thank you to you guys for watching, and we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock Eastern for Craft Vault. Bye for now.